Welcome, everybody. We're going to be starting our presentation, Microsoft Team Devices, an overview of Crestron devices with Graham Walsh here. If you have questions, go ahead and raise your hand, fire them away as we go along, and I'll throw the Pure IP little microphone thing to you, and you can ask as we go. With no further ado, Graham Walsh.
Thank you, Eric. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming to Comsverse. It's been a long journey getting here, but we're finally here in the end, which is great. And today, lightning talk, and I speak fast, so tell me to slow down if you need to. And just give you a quick overview of what we can do at Crestron in terms of devices, but also more importantly, device management. How do we manage these devices and deploy them at scale? So first up, what we can do is cover the entire enterprise with devices. So not just a meeting room with a device, but we can do mobile carts, small meeting rooms, large rooms, custom rooms, auditoriums, so big rooms like this, divisible rooms. So we can do it with basic Microsoft Teams rooms, but when you want some more intelligence, i.e. when you open these doors, you want to add more mics and speakers, all that can be done with other Crestron products as well. So it's one ecosystem, one vendor, but also more importantly, one cloud management platform. And by having that enables you to control your whole building or campus with just Crestron. So making it really, really simple, really easy. And the key thing is obviously it's all simple and relative to when you use Microsoft Teams on your desktop. When you now move to the room system, it's a very familiar user experience in the room. You click a join button. So we'll start off with what we can do with devices. So up here we have our Crestron 10-inch phone. This is a Microsoft Teams phone today. We also have an 8-inch version as well. And what we can do with this is two flavors. Voice, so if you're looking to roll out Teams Voice, replace other PBX vendors, and you still want some physical desk devices. So we have this in the Teams Voice version. As you see here, it's got the same UI. These camera versions obviously have video, so we can do Teams video on these as well. So being able to do large gallery, together mode, we've got all the great features on there, like you would expect, transcriptions. You can start a recording, lock your meeting. So it is another Teams client. Very soon, we've started working on this in engineering, is bringing this to Teams Display. And I can see Sean's already happy, he's got his order in already. Making this the Teams Display device as well. So using this next category, and I was talking to someone at Microsoft last night, and we think Teams Display is the most underrated device. You know, it's your companion device. I use this every day to join my calls. When I get that toast notification, someone's joined your meeting, I just hit join on my phone. So it's very easy to use. And obviously with Teams Display, we'll also get messaging and chats we can reply on there as well. So look out for that. That'll be a device that you can upgrade to the Teams Admin Center and take the video versions to Teams Display. Yeah. Come on, for everyone. Come on, Sean.
Sorry. What about Zoom support?
Zoom support.
Yeah, am I allowed to say that now? Zoom.
You just have.
Okay.
So actually, talking about Zoom, so on these devices, on Android devices, there is a Microsoft public roadmap entity for Android devices to have direct guest join for Zoom and WebEx. So that is coming for Android devices. So think of the old term collaboration bars, which we call obviously MTR on Android now,
Okay.
but also suspect will be on these Android devices as well. This is Android client running. But for other platforms, you know, I get the question all the time, can I use this with my Cisco? Can I use it with my Avaya? They're not open SIP devices. These are Teams devices. And I'll talk to you offline about everything else.
Okay.
And then we have what we start off in meeting space. So we have what we call our Mercury Mini. It's actually on our booth out at the front. You'll see it out there. It's a small conference room device available in two flavors. One is just Teams audio. So some places still want an audio conference room, no video. We do this with the Microsoft Teams phone software, exactly the same as you saw on the desk phone. We then take it into a meeting room. So you can then pair that with the Huddly IQ that we supply to get intelligent framing, and then a small Microsoft Teams meeting room. So great use case for these in many areas. Some people love the center of room audio. But again, a lot of people do like a soundbar, have that front of room experience, the audio coming from where the TV is. So today we have our soundbar here with the Huddly IQ again built in, again designed for those small to medium sized rooms. And again, with the touch panel, it's a 10-inch touch panel, and that can be either tabletop mounted or it can be mounted on a wall again. So a lot of spaces are now stand-up spaces or huddle spaces. You don't want cables trailing everywhere, so mount everything on the wall out of the way. And then we go to medium rooms and then into large rooms where we have a slightly larger tabletop Mercury device. Again, you can add extension microphones to these devices. So again, great coverage and great pickup on these room systems. And again, whatever device, it's the same Microsoft Teams user interface. You've got that click to join. These are all Windows-based today. So on all our meeting room solutions, they're Microsoft Teams rooms on Windows. So they support things like HDMI ingest, dual screen. Coming up soon, we have the dynamic gallery layouts coming up, front row. But also on, obviously, Windows, we have direct guest join for that Zoom and WebEx. You just send the invite and simply join that meeting. And then we have large rooms or custom rooms. So this is where you can build a solution based on your room size, something like this sort of room, where it's not standard. It might change, you might redesign it, but you may prefer other peripherals. So this is where we have what we call our custom integration series, where we just have the Crestron compute and the Crestron touch panel. And then, for example, here we have a Logitech Rally Plus system in the room. And again, what we can do with Logitech peripherals, we can monitor and manage that in our cloud service. So again, just having a single platform to monitor and manage everything. And then recently announced a few weeks ago was integration with Shure. So being able to integrate large rooms with the Shure IntelliMix software. So this is a Windows application, again, for the Windows platforms. You install it on the Microsoft Teams room. It's fully certified by Microsoft. And then the whole bundle is certified with the Shure network connected speakers and also the Shure network connected ceiling tiles. So again, Shure have this on their booth out there, so you can have a look at that as well. But this gives you the option to really have a single press of a button on their Windows, on their Shure Designer software, and you've got your room set up in minutes. So again, a great certified solution there with us. And announced last week, it's hot off the press, is our partnership with Jabra. So utilizing the new Panacast P50, again, that's just outside here with on the Jabra booth, but bundling this as an alternative to the Crestron Hudley soundbar, we'll have the Jabra Panacast. And one of the reasons why we've done this is because of their advances in technology. If anyone saw the Microsoft news last week, you would have seen things like intelligent framing and cropping that's coming. And this is one of the features that Jabra have in their cameras, which is why we've decided to partner with them on this. So this is coming soon to Microsoft Teams and Teams rooms. And again, this will then crop the people out and show them in your Microsoft Teams client and on the Teams rooms as well. Then next up, we have Teams panels. So being able to visually find a room, book a space, either ad hoc, you walk up, hit the reserve icon that you can see there, and then that will create a meeting. Send it purple or send it red for busy, but then also put a meeting on your MTR. So you walk up into the room and hit join, and then use that center of room console to add more participants to the meeting. The other way, obviously, it will read the same calendar. It uses the same license as the Microsoft Meeting Room license that's been assigned to the Microsoft Teams room. You then get all that availability, and then on the right-hand side, you there see any more meetings coming up for the day. What's also just been released is the ability to add third-party apps. And again, I've got it out on display on the Crestron booth, is that you can develop a web app. So, for example, like there, I've got a feedback form. So it's built on Microsoft Power Apps. You can put a survey in to say, how was the room? Or maybe you want to trigger an icon on there to say, please come and tidy the room or clean the room because we're finished. So the list of possibilities is endless, really, on what you can do by adding apps now to Teams panels. So it's really down to your creativity and really what you want to do before the meeting starts, or maybe after the meeting, report a problem, look at a timetable to get the bus or the train. So lots of options there on the Teams apps development. And room control, one thing that we're known for at Crestron is being able to control the room. So natively here within the Microsoft Teams room, we can add room control. So if we wanted to automate the blinds and lights in here, we can do this from the same Microsoft Teams console. You don't need two touch panels on the desk or one on the wall, one in the center of the room. You can all have it natively on the Microsoft Teams panel by going to room control. So again, that's an advanced feature that's loaded on all Crestron Microsoft Teams rooms. It obviously needs someone to go and do that programming. But what we can do built in is do that pan tilt zoom control. So if you want that camera control on there, you can do that natively with the Crestron platform. 5 minutes. I'll speak quick. One of the most important parts is how do we get all these devices online? So we bring them into a central warehouse and we want to distribute them, or you get them sent straight to maybe someone's office or home office. You've got the tools of the Teams Admin Center, which you obviously create profiles and policies for. But how do you actually monitor the hardware or remotely see that touch panel? With the Crestron XiO Cloud, which actually sits in the Azure IoT Hub, so same platform where all the security of Microsoft TAC is and also Microsoft Teams Room Premium, it adds an extra layer of management to help you monitor and manage not just the Crestron devices, but also third-party devices. So for example, Samsung displays, we now have an integration with them. So you could have the best Microsoft Teams room in the world, but the display might be off. So they're going to blame the logo on the table, whatever it is. But if you've got XiO, you can monitor that screen and even turn it on remotely and get alerts, create integration with ServiceNow, for example. So Samsung was the first manufacturer. We've got LG coming as well. And again, you set up the devices so they roll out when they plug into the network, they register to the cloud and bring down that profile settings required. And then obviously talks to Teams and gets the required settings there for your Teams policies. But what else can we do? So again, as I mentioned, remote management, being able to remotely see this touch panel from your browser. So not having to be in the room, be in the same country. You could be on a plane 30,000 feet and see the touch panel in the exec office or their home Microsoft Teams phone. You've got full remote access and also two-way control. But it does alert them that someone's viewing their touch panel. And then looking at occupancy usage. So again, pairing with our occupancy sensors from Crestron, being able to see our rooms being well utilized and actually make results. Okay, when someone walks in the room, do you want to automatically do the blinds? And how do we do that? Very simply, I'll show you a video at the end where we bring it all together. One of the things we see is with people going back to work, we're going to have a lot of hybrid working. Like this event, we have people online. We have people here and in here. So what's more important now is that we need to make sure all the rooms are working 24/7, wherever you might be in the world. So that's why we launched FlexCare at the start of this year. So providing 24/7 help desk, phone, email, chat, however you want to get hold of one of our engineers. If you have Crestron FlexCare, you'll get through to someone and you'll get troubleshooting. Also advanced replacement of parts to get you up and running much, much quicker. Our standard warranty at Crestron is 3 years. After the 90 days, return to base. But obviously with FlexCare, you get that advanced replacement next day, subject to the time you sort of log the call. Again, a lot of things are software, but based on Windows, they're easy to reimage. And then finally, bringing it all together, how do you have a Microsoft Teams room automated? You walk in, it sensor sees you, opens the blinds, and you can use proximity join with your mobile client and start that Microsoft Teams meeting. So you can have a complete touch-free experience in there. So to find out more, you can go to some short links on our website. And again, we have a chat with Jabra, look at their new Panacast 50 for their camera. Ourselves on the Crestron booth, and also over at Shure, they have all the IntelliMix set up there as well. Any questions from anyone? No, stunned. Eric, any questions?
Let's check to see if we don't have any online. So I think that's it. Nobody else has a question for Crestron. You guys still doing as big a room it can possibly done, right?
Of course. The bigger the better.
The bigger the better.
I did get an email from marketing today to say we're at the super yacht show. So I'm trying to work out how we get an MTR on a super yacht so I can go to the show.
I will offer my assistance.
In person? Or remotely?
In person, has to be. The personal touch there, you just can't beat that. So I think that's going to cover it for this session. Thank you. Oh, wait, we got one in the back. Here we go. Oh, no. I'm throwing this at you. Here we go.
You better catch.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, it's soft. Do you have any integration with Condeco?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Condeco room booking, for those that might know. Condeco have their own panels, their own software, and their own plugin for Outlook. With our panels, they talk natively to Teams, they talk natively to Exchange 365, but no integration to Condeco today.
What about
migration? Yeah, just unplug that and move to Exchange.
You mentioned Teams Room app on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
This is a native Teams stuff, or it's a Crestron possibility?
It's native Microsoft Teams. So you
Okay.
develop it in Teams, you do a setup policy in the Teams admin center, and then upload your apps or whichever ones you've designed.
Cool, thanks.
Anybody online? Also, just a reminder, raise your hand in the Teams meeting, or, and then you can just go on mute and ask your question. Yeah. So raise your hand and then you can ask for the people online while I'm looking at people.
Or anybody want to try to catch?
And that's going to be it. Okay, thank you all for attending. Make sure to catch the next one. Thank you.
Thank you very much.